Guys, gals, and non-binary pals, welcome back to Art by Flan. Let me just start out by apologizing for the sound of my voice. I've been fighting with a cold all darn week, and I wanted to actually put out like an art video, but I just didn't have the strength to actually draw or finish or record anything. So we're going to take another look at some old art from 2006. I'm going to try and finish everything up this video, so it may be a bit on the long side, so grab yourself a snack, get comfy, and let's get started. So we left off here in the last video. This was my character Arrow, so you can check out that video if you want to know more about him. We have more characters, excuse me, from that alphabet series I talked about last time. I think these belong to somebody else. I think these are Sarah's characters. Sarah, if you're watching, because I know you check out my channel from time to time, I think these are yours. You can correct me if I'm wrong. This one was, from the name, it's Yanni for the letter Y, and I think it was a dude. Super cute design though, I'm loving it. And here we have, so this one is Rex for the letter R, and he's actually based on a Moogle. And I don't know what it is about this particular drawing, but the little real man text on his shirt kills me. Also, can I just say that these are really vertical pictures. Like there's literally no width to them at all. These are long people I was drawing. So this is my character Aries. I think I talked a bit more about him last time. I tended to mix a lot of religious, like Abrahamic religious iconography with like Greek myths when I was in high school. Not sure why. It just looked cool, I guess. Okay, so this was another one of my ex. Like for a while there, we had like these anti-versions of ourselves. So this is the anti-version of him, whereas he was kind of quiet and reserved. His anti-self was kind of boisterous and loud. And by the way, folks, when they want your bodies to have an S curve, they do not mean like this. I guess this was a Mother's Day picture. You know, I honestly want to say I inked that in Sharpie or something, because those lines are wicked thick. And I think I actually gave this to my mother, and I'd like to formally apologize for giving her this terrible art. I think this one was colored by somebody else. I think Allison, my friend Allison, colored this one. No, she did the line art, I did the coloring, sorry. She did the line art for this one, and I did the coloring for this one, because I was afraid I'd ruin the line art. My main question here is, why is there just this flesh-colored hole in her outfit? Like, it looks like it would continue, but there's just this flesh-colored hole in her outfit. That really bothers me. Is I supposed to be there? That I want to put that heart on her chest, but I like this collar too much to erase it? What was going on here, past self? I really want to know. So, in high school is where I took on a cow persona. I guess you could say it was my fursona at the time, and I was a cute little Holstein cow, and I got quite a bit of fan art of me as a cow, and I loved it. I still love it, and I still love this little persona. I think this is the first time I drew her. Me and my ex, I'm pretty sure this one was done inked traditionally and colored digitally. I like, can I just say, it looks like my whole, because I think it's supposed to be me and him. My whole body is slightly to the right. Well, I guess it's that. Her left, our right, if you're looking at it front on. It's just all slightly to the right. Oh my god, you can't even see this sketch through the gross rain texture. What is this? I think I saw this on a tutorial on DeviantArt, and I just put it on everything for the longest time. I'm not even sure which characters these are, because I can hardly see it through that texture. Oh, that's gross. More of me and my ex. Line art was done in paint. Colors were done in Photoshop. Excuse me. And if this isn't the picture of teenage angst, I don't know what is. I won't say angst, that's not the right word. Of teenage romance, I don't know what is, because the lyrics in the background are Avril Lavigne. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. More Danny Phantom fan art. Why I think he has toast in his mouth, because the way I drew heads in high school, one of my friends compared it to buttered toast for some reason. She just said it looked like how you would draw buttered toast, and I can kind of see it, where she's coming from, but I think that's why I drew it. I was drawing Danny on his own. Oops, sorry. Drawing Danny on his own, and then she mentioned the buttered toast thing, so I gave him some toast. He's late for ghost school. So this, I think, is the first instance of the Moo hat, So the Moo hat is this little hat, and it has little cow ears and horns, as you can see. I actually had this hat. Bless my sweet, sweet mother for indulging me in her, in my crazy craft ideas. Actually made me this hat. Found the fabric, altered a pattern, and made it for me. I think I still have it somewhere in my apartment. I'm pretty sure it made the move with me. Another reference of the Moo hat. As you can see, this is another ID for DeviantArt. I couldn't think of the word. And apparently I loved my ex, and I loved sleep, which, you know, to be fair, I still love sleep. That's an eternal love that will never die. And I didn't like the 3 hours between me and him. Aww. Gross. I also had, because I was a cow, I had grass-flavored Pocky that I invented. That would be the most disgusting tasting Pocky on the face of the planet. More Danny Phantom fan art, nothing too special here. More Danny Phantom fan art again. Look at those spooky ghosts in the background. What even is perspective? I don't know. Actually, this is Danny Phantom fan art, but it was, I think there's a colored version coming up. Yeah. So this was for a comic done by an artist on DeviantArt. I can't remember their name, but they have this really cool fantasy comic using the Danny Phantom characters. And they were all based on like chess pieces, and the whole story was based around that. And this is what Danny looked like in her story, and I really enjoyed it, so I had to draw some fan art for her. More fan art. I say fan art. More art of me and my ex. Look at that. Like, I guess I didn't know how to desaturate colors in Photoshop at this point. I could do like these textured nonsense, but I couldn't make this not blinding. So this was actually Jaku's son at the time. And I think I just went through this period where I drew him several times and then never drew him again until I redesigned him later on down the road. So this is Raven. He was the son of Jaku and Aries, I believe. You've seen quite a bit of him in these sketchbook tours. So moving on. Here is Jaku pregnant with him. This was for that 100 prompts or whatever. This was, according to the file name, it was 33 expectations because she's pregnant-ish. This one was for 23 cat. This is Vanera just barking at a cat. Not great anatomy on either part. Here's Raven again. This was for 84 out cold. Like I said, I drew him several times and then never again. So this was, I don't know if I talked about Luke in the last one. I think I did, but this is updated, or at the time, updated art of him done with colored pencils. So this is more of my early colored pencils work. You can compare it to the work I have on my channel now. And also you can start to see my line art is thinning out and becoming more solid and less weighted and sketchy like it was before. More art. I actually entered this one in my local fair. They had all sorts of categories for art. Excuse me, I had a big coughing spell. They had a lot of categories for art in a local fair craft thing they have at a local fair. And I always entered the digital category, and I almost always won because nobody else entered it. So this one actually won like first place and won me like 20 bucks or something in my local county fair. I have no idea. The title of the piece is just, and that's it. I don't know. Don't know what's going on. Don't know who either of these are or why they're being hit with what I assume is a newspaper. Or why those legs look like that. I'm not sure. Just some angsty art using Photoshop and those textures. Also, the blood brushes by Angry Blue. Those were some of the most popular brushes I'd ever come across in my life, and I still use them for blood textures. I think these are based on pets. Yeah, this was like anime versions of pets that we had lost in an amount of time. Like this one was my horse. This one was another old horse we had on the farm, and these two were my friend's dogs. Nothing says honoring your lost pets like cruddy anime drawings. Some Danny Phantom fan art. This is Danny and Sam older. Like, I think the general consensus at the time in the fandom of an older Danny was that he would have a goatee. Some fan art of Ember. I don't know why she looks so nice. Or motherly. I guess maybe this was supposed to be her after having the kids. But I generally think that's very out of character for Ember, so yeah. Also, This is not zoomed out, by the way. This is the actual resolution of this picture. All of my art from this time was tiny. This was another fan child for Dan and Ember. This was Luke's little sister, Lilith. This was supposed to be like her human form, which doesn't make sense because if it was between Dan Phantom, Danny's older self, who was full ghost, and Ember, who is full ghost, they wouldn't be half ghost children. They would just be ghost children. I don't know how ghosts are having kids anyway, but hey, you know, ask 2006 Danny. I actually kind of like this piece conceptually. I may go back and redo this again, do like a draw this again with this, but obviously, every time I look at my old art, I just have to laugh because it's so awful. Like, this profile view is just terrible. Like I said, I like this piece conceptually, but it's not very good in execution. And I've remembered this piece for a lot of years. So that's why the concept sort of stuck with me. More of me and my ex. I'm sure you guys are absolutely sick of seeing art about this. This is actually older. I think this is a 2005 piece, but I guess I posted it in 2006 or something. I don't know. I think this is definitely another 2005 piece because this was during like my Yu-Gi-Oh phase. Yeah, and I think it says 2005 right down here. And this was Jaku and Seto Kaiba's daughter. I don't remember her name, but this is some early colored pencil work. Again, I've been doing colored pencils a long time. It wasn't until just last year that I actually bought art colored pencils. More art from 2005, posted in 2006. More colored pencil work. I think these are lyrics from a song from D and Angel. That's kind of the motif I stole for this, so there's that going. I couldn't tell you what it said or how to pronounce it anymore, what it meant in English, so there you go. Here is Jaku in an anthro form. She had one, and Vanira had one, and that's that. Why she has wings, don't know. What's this magic thing? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. More art of myself. Again, up until this point, it's all been traditional line art and digital coloring. And I think I'm still using Dodge and Burn here. Please do not use the Dodge and Burn tool, friends. It is not a shortcut to shading. Trust me. Just learn to do it the old-fashioned way, or you're gonna get this. More of me and my ex. I think this is actually pretty cute. I was pretty proud of the proportions at the time, but looking back at them, they are not great. I think this is funny because I made up this species when I was younger, obviously, and it was like these dog people with wings and like a flaming mane that went all the way down their back and became their tail. And I was browsing DeviantArt like a few years after I had just done this and scrapped it and found somebody who had the exact same idea. Like, I don't think they stole it from me or anything, but it just so happened that we had similar concepts, and I thought that was funny. And even if they did take it, they could obviously have that. So this was supposed to be naughty shipping. So in the story at the time, Ares, who's this character, and Vanira, who's this character, hated each other. So it was kind of the in-joke around my friends that it was, you know, kind of taboo to ship them together, which I think is kind of funny. Me and my ex, I think this little outfit's cute. Why I drew myself in a Japanese schoolgirl outfit all the time, I don't know. I was a weeaboo. I'd never worn one in my entire life. This was for a friend of mine on DeviantArt's birthday. I'd like to formally apologize that I presented them with this grotesque monstrosity. It was just a sketch. I don't know who it is. I know that they're sleeping apparently, and they've got potatoes for feet. Potato feet. Oh, there's some boobies. I don't know if those can be on DeviantArt. So, not DeviantArt. They can on DeviantArt, but I don't think it can be on YouTube. So I'm gonna skip that. I redrew that picture, actually. More art of my ex. More art of my ex. I'm just not gonna linger on these too long, because what's the point? This has that gross rain texture, and can I just say, I love this, bitchin' Photoshop default grass texture and Photoshop default cloud texture in the background. Thought I was hot shit. This was for that same friend. This was for a contest of hers, for her character, I think, maybe? I don't know, it's bad. I don't think I won, for obvious reasons. More boobies. I think I can linger on this one a bit longer. I actually redid this one. You can check it out on my Tumblr and on my Instagram, where you can see how I redesigned this character 10 years later. So, this marks a huge turning point in my art. This is where I discovered how to do line art in Photoshop with the pen tool. And I vividly remember this is the first piece I did, and this was mind-blowing for me. This opened so many freaking doors for me. This is literally the turning point in my digital art career. Like I said, before this, everything had been traditional line art with digital coloring, and now we're getting into full-scale digital pieces here, where I had the sketch, and I inked it and colored it in Photoshop. So the first one we had, this is a inking of a piece you saw earlier of the first one I did with my Moo hat. Here's more practice with that, me as a cow. Again, I don't know how those are cow ears, but whatever. As you can see, the line art's pretty jaggedy. I haven't gotten a hang of the pen tool completely quite yet. This is one of the first few times I actually did it. That sketch from earlier, only done digitally and abused with Photoshop brushes in the background. This was another technique I had. I honestly couldn't tell you how I did it now. Also, why is it so small? It's where I would, like, it changed it looked like a light layer over just the lines or something. I don't know. It doesn't look right. Oh! Apparently he just milked me. That's not sexual innuendo in any way whatsoever. This was another more fan art of that comic, that Danny Phantom comic based on chess pieces. This was the Ghost Rider. And again, this is more fan art done with the pen tool in Photoshop. And as you can see here, I changed techniques a bit later on, but right now I'm just making like one line and using the simulate pressure to get this effect, which it looks okay, but there's better ways to do line art. More sad time, unhappy art, I guess. As you can see, my highlights aren't that great and all that, so. More line art. I think this is my friend Sam. And my character Luke, she was really into him and dug him a lot, which I think is super duper great. Oh, geez, this is really red. Apparently this is an apology or something. Maybe I made him mad and I tried to draw him some sexy art to make him feel better. I'm really digging this red theme. I kind of like the weight in this picture. Like, I think the line art sort of played really well. I don't know, I still kind of enjoy this one. It's not technically great, but I do like the overall look of it. More emo art. Again, like I said, I really dug this line art thing, so I did a lot of line art. This was actually, if you've seen the picture, on the piece on my channel of Coco, the cow, this is her original form. She was a white chick with pink hair. This is an ID, I think. Nothing too important there. My ex, again, one of his favorite things to say was I had some SketchBooks, but I eated them because LOL random. This was something about me being a Wiccan. I was Wiccan at the time, but I've downgraded since to, you know, random standard paganism, because Wicca has a lot of other things that I just couldn't bother to do. More of this character. You probably saw her in the last piece that I said I technically liked. And you can see that this is also sort of the birth of my really thick line art. This is actually a character for a role play I did with my friend Allison. I'm just now noticing she looks really similar to that character that I drew for my friend that was awful. With the dark hair and the red outfit and stuff. My ex again, like I said, nothing special. So here's a comic. I did attempt to do comics. I remember hand drawing these. I think, yeah, I hand drew them. And then I inked and toned and colored some pieces in Photoshop. I'm not going to read this. You can pause and try to read it if you'd like. It's garbage. So yeah. I remember we had to, hold on, let me go back. I remember we had to do these for a project in my art class. And everyone was like, well, that doesn't count. She did it on the computer. And my teacher's like, yeah, a lot of comics are done on the computer these days. Also, this was a digital medium, right? So why do I still have this white space over here like it was tilted on the page? I couldn't be bothered to fix that? What the heck? Jaco and Aries again. Apparently this was me proclaiming that it didn't matter what I drew. I was going to draw whatever, even if it was naughty. Because that was a big thing, that I was so mature and I could handle that. I don't know what this hand is. Good God. More of that comic. I remember doing this page and being so mad because I made the line art too thick and things get lost in that. I remember this piece because I drew it one way and flipped it and it looks terrible. More of me as a cow. You'll notice a lot in these older pieces, I tend to draw myself very thin, whereas nowadays I've started drawing myself fat, which I was fat at the time, I just couldn't draw fat people, and my advice is to always learn to draw different body shapes. More of that comic, again, I'll linger here so you can pause and read, I'm not going to do that. More from that RP with my friend Allison. This was the female character, this is her dad, and this was like her werewolf boyfriend protector or something. Also, one of the things I noticed about this, where's the rest of her body? Like, there would be a body here. There's just this gap. Okay, so, in high school, I was in high school when Silent Hill came out, the movie, the first movie, and it was really big with all of us, and we kept joking about being sexually attracted to Pyramid Head, and I know that's so messed up, knowing the lore behind Pyramid Head, but, my friend drew me pregnant with a Pyramid Head fetus, and using the big sword to, like, poke out of my stomach. I still have the original sketch she did of this. She sketched it and I colored it, but I think I still have the original sketch of this. Again, more of that comic. I think I only did like 4 or 5 pages. Stop, go away. So I'll leave it here and try and get, there you go. If you want to try and read that. So we did a Kingdom Hearts roleplay thing in high school. This was, like I said, just after 2 had come out. And so we made Kingdom Hearts saunas for all of us. And so this was my exes. This was me and a guy I knew on DeviantArt. His screen name was Orpheus, but I called him Ophi. And he was emo. He claimed to be emo. This is him again. And the same picture again. This is actually a picture I saw earlier. I showed you earlier, only I did it digitally this time. Here's a picture of Coco. I think I was using it to show commissions or something. I don't know, but this is what she originally looked like. I don't know what any of that says, but this is kind of cute. My ex again, a big gross white space. I like to draw people under blankets because it meant I didn't have to draw the rest of the body. And here you can start to see I figured out colored line art. I've drawn Jaku's Senshi form before, but this is one of the many, many early designs she had. I don't know who this character is or why he has a doctor form and a pirate form, but here he is. Jaku and Aries, this is a gross background. What the heck is going on? It's just a gradient. There's no ground or anything. It's supposed to be ground and sky, but it's just a gradient. What the heck? It's terrible. So this was a coloring book edit. Part of Jaku's story is she becomes a constellation or something, I think. I vaguely remember. A lot of empty white space. I don't know. I feel like it kind of works with this piece. Like, I don't know, the belt's kind of drawing the eye or something. I don't know, I kind of like the concept. What I don't like is why these are clearly strings, and they're clearly, you know, space in between here, but where's the rest of her hair? Where's the rest of the belt? I don't know. Maybe they're with all those other blank spaces where I forgot to draw things. This was my Sailor Moon Star picture. It was me as a Sailor Scout, but also cow themed because I was really into cows. My ex again. Okay, so there's a story behind this one. I love this one. So we lived in the middle of nowhere growing up, and cell phone service was not the greatest. And so my brother would have to go into the front yard to use his cell phone. But instead of getting dressed, because we did live in the middle of nowhere, there was nobody around. You could walk out in your underwear in our front yard and nobody would see you. So he, instead of getting dressed, would just put on his boxers, shoes, and socks and go out into the front yard to use his cell phone. And he would do that for hours at a time, almost every day. So I drew that. Here's the sea cow picture. I redid something along a similar vein. You can see it on my channel. So, this is actually a reference picture. My friend had asked me how to draw some of these things, so I drew it for her, and I hope she did not take any of this to heart. I don't think she did, because I've seen her work lately, and it's much, much better than mine could ever be. And here we see Coco in her cow persona. This is the first time I drew that, and this is obviously what stuck. It's at this point, I just stopped drawing those, and now it looks like everybody's like a freaking cyclops. I'm so mad. Also, why is her hair pink? Oh, I guess she dyed her hair. I was gonna say, why is her hair pink but her tail black? But I guess she just dyed her hair. That would make sense. More of Jaku in her older Cintiq design. This is also a coloring book edit. Here it is in color. So here's that character I talked about before, Raven, the one I had never drawn again. This was his redesign. That was, I had not drawn in between those old pictures and this one. This was supposed to be in the Sailor Moon AU I have for Jaku. This is her younger sister. Coloring book edit of some cute faces for Coco. And here what I talk about when I say coloring book edit. So way back in the before times, excuse me, sorry about my voice. Way back in the before times, before I did a lot of digital art, I found out about coloring book editing, where you could just take like a Sailor Moon coloring book page, erase parts and draw parts back in, and sort of make them your own or change them up. And so that's what I did for the longest time. But then when I got better at art and figured out Photoshop, I learned I could just use this as a base and trace it essentially and make those edits. And here's that picture on its own. Here's an early attempt at drawing fat people, wider hips and a little tummy thing. So, I mean, it's hard to do, but you can do it. I tried. More art of Coco. More art of Coco. I'm very fond of her, and I especially was in 2006 when I originally drew her, and she got the Cyclops thing going on again because forget drawing the other eye, who cares? This was after we gave ourselves Keyblade Saunas, we decided instead to make our own organization 13, and this was sort of the design of the coat. Just some moody art. I think I printed these out and made like self bookmarks. This one's of me, and this one's of my ex. More of my cow self. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Another one of those patented. You can tell it's moody and special because I shaded it in pencil. This was actually done in cross hatching, and it's a mess. More art of me. This was based on a design of a guy I was friends with, Drew. He did really cute art. He's not around anymore though, unfortunately, so I can't link him or anything. More art of my ex. We're getting into that period of time where he took up a massive amount of time of my life. Me and my ex again. Aries. This is like a punk rock Aries. I redid their story a bit, and they're like a modern AU where he was this punk rock kind of metal band kind of guy. And I think these are based off of real trip pants. Because I don't know if you guys had one, but definitely in my high school, we went through this phase where everybody in my clique had trip pants because we were all super goth. This was fan art for somebody on DeviantArt, a big name fan of the Sailor Moon fandom. One of her otaku Cintiq had this really cute like floating halo tiara with a lotus in it, and so I drew one of my Cintiq stealing it. Me and my ex with some Johnny Cash lyrics. Me and my ex again. This one was actually, if you can believe it or not, an Avatar: The Last Airbender fan character, and she was a firebender. So why she's dressed all in blue and surrounded by purple, you got me. Me and my ex, I'm pretty sure I used this one as my background for a long time. Him again with some My Chemical Romance lyrics because he's super into that. Me again, so I like drawing myself naked for him apparently. Us again, but this time angsty. Now, another Cintiq design for Jaku. I think this was even older than the last one. You can tell because it's really bad. I think this was a middle school design. This was a little comic I did for my high school newspaper. Like, we could submit a comic and they would run it in the newspaper. So I had this idea for a stripy superhero, because like I said, in high school, stripes were my thing. A stripy superhero who saved the school and like wasn't into teen drama. They didn't accept it, and I'm really sad about that, which is kind of good because I didn't really have anything going after this initial strip. But I also love how these monsters are totally not heartless or nobodies from Kingdom Hearts. This is the beginning of the end, actually. This is Christmas art I did for people. I don't quite remember who these were for, so I just had a free thing where I did free line art for people for Christmas. They gave me a request, I do the line art, and I did this for several years, but I eventually stopped because I got too busy. This is actually a bit of a tradition of mine. You'll have to excuse me, hold on. Sorry about that. It's actually a tradition of mine. There was a comic by an artist named FSC. I pronounced it Fisk, but I don't remember if there was actually a way to pronounce it. But they did this comic about the real Santa Claus. I think I've talked about this before, but this was mine for 2006. But I drew him every year for a while. It's just sort of a holiday tradition, and this was mine for 2006. Another one of those free Christmas line arts. Oh, a tablet doodle, an early tablet doodle. So this was, I think, my first attempt at drawing anything with my tablet. Of course, it was my ex, obviously. And so this was the first step at drawing anything, like besides squiggles and smiley faces. So yeah, if you are just got a tablet for Christmas or whatever, and it's your stuff's kind of squiggly and gross, and you just can't figure it out, here you go. This is my very first attempt at drawing literally anything with my tablet. More free line art. I think this is my friend Sam after she got a haircut. This was another attempt at doing tablet work. So this was a little later on, as you can see. Still not smooth, still not excellent, but hey, I was still learning. Again, with this no nose, one eyeball thing going on. You've definitely seen this one before, and this is the last one for 2006. So you've seen this one before. It is the first serious piece I did with my tablet, and I did a redraw of it on my channel so you can see how far I've come. And that, my friends, brings us to an end of Art of 2006. I'm sorry for 2 sketchbook tours in a row, but like I said, I was really sick this week, and my voice is still kind of creaky, and I shouldn't have recorded a 25-minute thing, but what am I gonna do? I had to get a video out, and I didn't feel like drawing anything. So thank you guys so much for watching. There should be more art next week. I'll actually post some actual art. But thank you for watching. If you like what you see, don't forget to click that like button, leave a comment down below, tell me what kinds of things you want to see from me. And hey, you can always subscribe to get a brand new video from me every single week in your inbox. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye.